Poblach na hÉireann, the provisional government of the Irish Republic, to the people of Ireland, Irish men and Irish women, in the name of God and of the dead generations from which she receives her old tradition of nationhood. Ireland, through us, summons her children to her flag and strikes for her freedom. Having organised and trained her manhood through her secret revolutionary organisation, the Irish Republican Brotherhood, through her open military organisations, the Irish Volunteers, and the Irish Citizens' Army, having patiently perfected her discipline and having resolutely waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. She now seizes that moment and, supported by her exiled children in America and by gallant allies in Europe, but relying in the first of her own strength, she strikes in full confidence of victory. We declare the right of the people of Ireland to the ownership of Ireland and to the unfettered control of Irish destinies, to be sovereign and indefeasible. The long usurpation of the right by the foreign people and government has not extinguished the right, nor can it ever be extinguished, except by the destruction of the Irish people. In every generation, the Irish people have asserted their right to national freedom and sovereignty. 6 times during the past 300 years, they have asserted it in arms, standing on that fundamental right and again asserting it in arms in the face of the world. We hereby proclaim the Irish Republic as a sovereign, independent state, and we pledge our lives and the lives of our comrades in arms to the cause of its freedom, of its welfare, and of its exaltation among the nations. The Irish Republic is entitled to, and hereby claims, the allegiance of every Irish man and every Irish woman to the Republic, guarantees religious and civil liberty, equal rights, equal opportunities to all its citizens, and declares its resolve to pursue the rights and the happiness and prosperity of the whole nation and of all its parts, cherishing all the children of the nation equally and oblivious of the differences, carefully fostered by alien government, which have been divided a minority term and the majority in the past, until our arms have brought the opportune moment for the establishment of the permanent national government, representatives of the whole people of Ireland, and elected by the suffrages of all her men and women. The provisional government hereby constitute will be administered the civil and military affairs of the Republic in trust for the people. We place the cause of the Irish Republic under protection of the Most High God, whose blessing we invoke upon our arms, and we pray that no one who serves that will cause dishonour. It will be toward inhumanity and rapine. In this supreme hour, the Irish nation must, by its law and discipline, and by the readiness of its children to sacrifice themselves for the common good, prove itself worthy of the august destiny which it's called.
small apologies. One is the late commencement of the parade today due to the very, very heavy-handed behaviour of the Gardaí. The initial start-off point, there were over 40 armed guards detaining people, taking their names and addresses and just generally harassing people. There's clearly no need for that. It's a peaceful commemoration. It commemorates those who set out to form this republic. Apologies for the absence of our chairperson today, Stephen Mooney, who was prohibited from travelling south of his own country by MI5 influenced RUC PSNI. So we see ourselves as Irish people in a 32 county. So why should people from one part of the country be denied the right to travel to another? I would like to welcome you all here today to mark the 108th anniversary of the 1916 Easter Rising. Sarah are proud to welcome Republicans from near and far, including our international comrades. It is a privilege to have you stand here with us outside the historic GPO.
We are honoured to have been invited today to commemorate the 1916 uprising at its epicenter in Dublin in front of the GPO. The sacrifice of the 1916 insurgents resonates even more today here in Dublin, in an island that claims to be free but remains under capitalist domination. Whether in the 6 English-occupied counties or here in the south, a revolution remains to be made. In a year marked by the Empire genocidal assault on Gaza, it is more important than ever to support the resistance wherever it may be. We will follow your footsteps at the rising of the moon. Thank you.
It is an honor to be here in Dublin today for the commemoration of the Easter Rising 108 years ago, with a mind to Irish national liberation and the establishment of a socialist republic. We are increasingly moving towards a state in which only revolutionary politics can still provide an answer to today's social problems that are sometimes very similar to those over a century ago. Today's neoliberal policies pursued by political elites across Europe are increasing poverty and reducing the welfare of the working class. The same Western imperialist camp that denies people their sovereignty and national freedom is actively supporting a genocide of the Palestinian people in Gaza, perpetrated by Israel.
And for all those people who are homeless in Ireland, that's an absolute shame on this government. The new republic will not let that happen. But for Antonio and everyone else, all the other thousands of people that are homeless today across the country, our thoughts go to them.
A Georgia, August, a camaraderie, the Falcha Road galore, and Shaw and you, friends and comrades, I am proud to stand here today with you all outside the historic GPO, the revolutionary headquarters of the 1916 revolution. The site of where that inspirational document, the Proclamation of the Irish Republic, was read out 108 years ago. We remember and honour the brave men and women of Easter week, and also all those who sacrificed their lives in the pursuit of Irish freedom before and after 1916, and we rededicate ourselves today to continue that struggle. We remember our comrades today who can't be with us, and those that are incarcerated in British and Free State jails for continuing the work of the unfinished revolution. The counter-revolutionary Free State that tried to claim our history as their own and ban the term ugly in our hearn, unless it's used in relation to the so-called defence forces of the 26 counties. We defy them here today and call on people to honour all ugly who have died in Ireland's proud freedom struggle, and indeed salute all ugly who continue to resist the occupation of our country. There is no better tribute to those who fought and died behind me than to volunteer for your community, your country, your class, and fight for the republic we all deserve. We send revolutionary greetings to all oppressed peoples, with a special message of solidarity to our Palestinian brothers and sisters suffering under the brutal Zionist genocide. This tragedy in real time underlines the moral hypocrisy of the West, and especially the United States, who speak the language of peace and conciliation, all the while supplying weapons of war to help with the eradication of an entire nation. It would be well to remember these are the same people the Free State want to hitch their wagon to. As we gather here today in homage and respect to these great heroes, scholars, socialists, educators, poets and trade unionists. The patriotic men and women of 1916, we asked ourselves, what would they think of Ireland today? They would see a partitioned country, a republic in name only in the south that has handed sovereignty over to faceless EU bureaucrats. A country governed by gone-bean men. Because of them, we have a housing system beset by parasitic native-born landlords and multinational vulture funds who profit from what should be a basic human right. A generation of children condemned to homelessness, a health system fit for the scrap heap, a cost of living crisis hitting the poorest in society, and an unacknowledged hemorrhaging of young people from our shores is met with spin and silence from Leinster House. Níl mútear na Gaeltachta in an teach fáil and Cantor féin. In the north, they would see a six-county statelet formed out of unionist ignorance. It is a state that will still persecute Irish Republicans, only now gleefully administered by Sinn Féin. There is no ceasing of the stop and searches, internment by remand, draconian conditions, and approaches by sinister forces of British intelligence. The failure of the left is damning, both in their failure to connect with the working class they claim to represent, and their utter and willful ignorance of partition. Some of the left here are more aligned with American-style liberalism, who talk at the working class, and as a consequence have allowed reactionary elements to gain a foothold in our communities. They are more interested in fighting useless culture wars than the class war that needs to be waged. We remain steadfast on our position that revolution is the only solution. All of us here know the Good Friday Agreement was a grave setback thanks to the organs of a small minority of so-called Republicans. The leadership of Sinn Féin were seduced, bought and turned, and came to view a place at the Stormont table as the ultimate goal. Now these former Republicans at Stormont administer British laws and bow and kneel before the Crown. However, an equally insidious form of imperialism is at our doors, an economic and bureaucratic imperialism embodied by a slavish embrace of free market voodoo economics. The lack of debate around Ireland's future in the EU is deeply troubling, as is a move towards militarisation of the EU. We cannot and should not be dictated by the EU bureaucrats. The United States of Europe is just a few short years away, and our neutrality and sovereignty has ever been more willingly legislated out of existence by the actions of dim-witted place-hunting Shaneens in Leinster House. It is not simply a matter of Brits out, but to lay out our means and methods if we are to have any real chance of genuine independence or sovereignty. If we fail to even attempt this, then we are leaving the country to be socially, morally and culturally bankrupt. We remember with the defiant words of Pearse who said, "You cannot conquer Ireland, you cannot extinguish the Irish passion for freedom. If our deed has not been sufficient to win freedom, then our children will win by better deed." It does not take much to tap into genuine patriotism. This is why our movement suffers harassment and censorship by MI5-led forces north and south. As Bobby Sands says, you cannot put a rope around the neck of an idea. That idea of 32 county socialist Irish Republic declared here 108 years ago is our goal, and we need to be ready to embrace any and all strategies and to battle the forces arrayed against us to achieve it. We know the battle ahead is a hard road, but struggle always is. Yet on these streets, in the building behind me, a determined, idealistic and brilliant band of men and women face down the might of an empire. These men and women, ugly in their hair in the Irish Republican Army, relit the patriotic flame that had been long dormant in the Irish people. We seek to reawaken that spirit again. Please join with us and help us complete the unfinished revolution. On Foblack the Boo.
want his stronger just for what he can do. I give credit like a movie cause I know it is true. He's calling many but you see he's only chosen a few. My interview the chosen one and live until number 2.
7:30, are you gonna be there? 7:30, are you gonna be there? 7:30, are you gonna be there? If you're gonna be there, come and grab a leaflet. 7:30, are you gonna be there? If you're gonna be there, come and grab a leaflet. The ladies, listen, the Lord restrained me from absolutely free tonight. You're all invited if you can hear our voices. It's 7:30, it's a free music concert this Easter. We're celebrating the resurrected Savior that's He's still in there.